Online for you, WRQK.com. That's where yesterday's podcast is hosted. That's also where you are going to enter your Rock the Bank $1,000 keyword. We'll get that passed out at 9 a.m. this morning. I pass out the first word every weekday morning here on Rock 106.9. What's not in the podcast from yesterday is New Tour Tuesday. That does not get podcasted, so you missed new Billie Eilish lunch. This is going to be a big song. I didn't care for it. It'll be a big song because it's Billie Eilish and she's talking about being in love with a woman. You missed for New Tour Tuesday. Felt like one out of the three pretty decent there. And again, I was talking about that Twisters movie through Luke Combs, right? And I said, I kind of feel like they're in for it. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read like the synopsis or anything, but I'm willing to bet they're going to blame some of those wind clouds are going to be on climate change, right? Like I'm just going to guess Hollywood's going to be like, all right, so these things are destroying everything. And, this is the reason why they came about. And now I'm being told by my audience that there's already controversy around the Twisters movie. And some people are out, I guess, online saying they're not going to go see it or support it because the soundtrack is just filled with country artists. Yeah, I guess maybe what we should do is look at where the storm chasing goes down at. And then you kind of figure out, the kind of music those people are probably listening to. It's like, yeah, it's probably not the craziest thing to have Luke Combs in a Twister soundtrack. That's probably not a terrible idea. Motley Crue wasn't on the New Jack City soundtrack. Like, that didn't happen. Like, that wasn't a thing. So, I'm not sure why people would be shocked by that. We're going to talk a little climate change today. Relax. It's not necessarily about my opinion about it, but 48% of Americans think that they're going to see climate change wipe the planet clean. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think there are far bigger threats facing you and I today and in the next couple of years. I believe we negatively affect the planet. I don't believe I'm going to live long enough to see it destroyed by climate change. I don't buy that. Could be wrong. I guess I could be wrong. I doubt I am, but I guess I could be. We'll get to that and those stats and what those events people think are the more likely of all the climate change events. We'll get to all of that coming up at 7 o'clock. 9 a.m., like I said, we'll rock the bank with you, pass out that first $1,000 keyword. Also, John Tesh is going to redo the NBA on NBC theme as NBC is ponying up a ton of money trying to get NBA games back, so we'll get into that a little bit. Also at 9, the best Canton, Massillon patios to drink on now that we have day drinking and, summer drinking season upon us. We'll get to that. 8 a.m. this morning, another restaurant is going full-blown Red Lobster, and they may go under because of it. Another chain is offering all-you-can-eat options to get people to come through the doors and we just saw this close another business. Red Lobster is closing. They're filing for bankruptcy. People were recording videos, bitching. They were ordering the all-you-can-eat shrimp and then giving it to their children. The waiters come and say, you can't do this. There's a reason why we do this. You're not allowed to do that. And then the people went to TikTok, recorded videos, and were talking about how they were being persecuted against for trying to feed their families. That's how far all of this stuff has come. This is craziness. And I think that this could happen to this next chain restaurant. We will get there. Also, some new data's come out about restaurant workers. It says exactly what I said it would. They're not looking for more money per hour. They're not. They're looking for more tips. You know why? Because they make more money in the tips. And so we will get there. That will be part of that conversation at 8 o'clock as well. Like I said, 48% think they're going to see the earth wiped clean because of climate change. I'm not sure I buy that. We'll get to that at 7 o'clock this morning on the Stansbury Show.
Here's what's next on the Stansbury Show.
So yesterday we talked a little Browns proposal with the Hexatron and the stadium. Today we got to talk a little bit about that roster, though. It may not all be the land of milk and honey. Here next on the Stansbury Show. Welcome back to the program. You can text in at 330-450-7625. I'm also reachable on your socials at The Stansbury Show. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the idea for a Browns Hexatron. The guy's been trying to get this deal done since 1985, from what I understand. He's proposing it again as people are bickering between downtown or Brook Park for the stadium, dome or not dome. And he's like, we can do a 6-sided Hexatron with a retractable roof. The design, he has the roof off of it so you can see what the field would look like inside of it. And it looks a little flat, so people are like, it doesn't look great. It's like, dude, that's the rendering so you could see the whole thing. Also, plenty of those stadiums, when they get built, they don't necessarily look fantastic. I mean, Vegas is Allegiant Stadium. People talk about how great it is, but then all the memes online are it looks like a Roomba because it looks like a Roomba, right? I mean, it's a building at the end of the day to play sports in. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, architecture can be great and it can be art. You know what I mean? I'm not sure that's what I look at like modern stadiums as, you know? But people were back and forth about the Hexatron. I actually don't hate the idea. I understand people wanting to keep it downtown. I do. People complain about the traffic downtown. It's like there's 66,000 people in the building. I don't know how I don't know how fluid you expect traffic to be after that many people are in one place. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing. Did you see the traffic for EDC over this last weekend in Vegas? Oh my God, it was unreal. I can't believe anybody deals with that to go to that. But I'm old now. You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, I'd have been like, dude, get out of my way. I'm sitting in that traffic. I can't wait to go. We're going to have so much fun eating these drugs and forgetting that we were here. Right? Like that's, you know, I would have totally been there for that. So I don't know. I think the traffic thing is going to be pretty bad in Brook Park, too. They say they got a plan for it. Yeah, I know. They had a plan to fix 77, too, and it only took about 25 years. And so we'll see how that whole thing goes. But it's the roster we got to talk about today. We're hearing now, through Mary Kay Cabot, a deal to lock up Amari Cooper for the future. Not necessarily imminent, she says. Cooper, turning 30 next season, has had some injury issues. And according to Mary Kay Cabot at Cleveland.com, she's saying the Browns, they're going to maybe wait to see a little bit more before committing. It's going to be like a $100 million deal, right? Let me see here. Here's what she said. Quote, an extension for Cooper doesn't necessarily seem imminent. Quote, the Browns can either do something before the season or let it play out a bit and see how it goes. Now, most people would believe that Cooper has been one of Barry's better picks, right? What are acquisitions? We didn't draft him, but they ended up trading for him, I believe. And Mary Kay Cabot admits that she doubts the Browns would have been 11-6 without him last year. I would agree with that. He's more a production guy than he is like, oh my God, look how many touchdowns. Like he's more like get you the first down kind of guy. He's a little quiet for a wide receiver. That position's known to be the diva. Colin Cowherd's got this crazy theory about it, but he might not be wrong. They break the huddle first. They play by themselves on the end of the line out there. You know what I mean? They can kind of work inside. Yes, they have routes, but they can kind of break those and kind of work their own thing out. He's like, and it just kind of it's a position that kind of calls out to a certain personality type. I think he's reaching there a little bit, but it's an interesting thought process. But Amari's not that guy. He's a little soft-spoken. He's kind of quiet. My hands and my body will do the talking for me. I'm not necessarily out there on the I have to advertise myself constantly. That's a big thing in today, and I could understand with, brands looking to sign athletes and the money and all of this. Tom Brady is getting panned online by telling incoming rookies. The problem I see with a lot of you guys is it's all about I, me, because that's how you get the deals with, name, image, likeness, and that's how you get the deals with the advertisers. He's like, but football ain't that. NFL football ain't that. NFL football is us. It's sacrifice. Give up for the guy next to you. He's like, that's how you become a champion. And you're watching all those guys nodding along, but they're sitting there thinking, bro, I don't care. I got the bag. You know what I mean? I got the bag on me. I don't care. Right? And so this is a thing in pro sports. Amari Cooper kind of feels more like a guy who doesn't maybe talk enough. I mean, he's active on social, not as much as maybe some other players, and definitely not as much as some other wide receivers. And they got Jerry Jeudy, a few other guys. We'll see if Jerry kind of turns into something. A lot of people have felt like that's been a little underwhelming in Denver. I've chosen, I don't know why, but I have chosen to go into the Jerry Jeudy situation with a little bit of optimism. I am in a creative, productive field. Production is how you are absolutely based and judged, and that's how that whole thing will go. And I can tell you, when you are in a good situation, you will produce more than when you're in a bad. For you, right? Now, I don't know if Denver was a bad situation. It might have just not been a great match for him, right? And I have been at radio stations that supported me properly, wanted me to be where I was, wanted me doing what I was doing, and sure enough, show was pretty good. And the success was good, and the ratings were good, and the money was good, and everything was good. I have worked at one radio station in particular that wanted the heat of the show, but then wanted to just strangle the show for what it was, turn it into something else, and then got pissed at us when it didn't work. It's like, well, get me the hell out of here. Sure enough, I leave there, I find other situations, and flourish. So I'm choosing to be a little optimistic about the Jerry Jeudy situation, and hopefully it's one of those. We'll wait and see what we get there. Also, I was told yesterday we got another huge injury update on Nick Chubb, but we didn't really. If you go to MSN.com, they're talking about it. And they'll admit that Chubb is the heart and soul of the Cleveland offense, and I would agree with that. When he went down that Pittsburgh game, everybody thought, oh no, it's over. Myself included, everybody was like, this is pretty bad. But again, according to another report from Cleveland Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, Chubb has made some progress, but there are still questions surrounding his availability for the upcoming season. Quote, Chubb won't be participating in OTAs or the mini camp from a team drills standpoint, but he's been around all offseason. He's been rehabbing the knee and providing inspiration to his teammates. He also spent some time during the offseason training at his high school in Cedartown in Georgia and could be back and forth during OTAs. But he's been running for several weeks and looks good. If all goes as planned, he'll test the twice reconstructed left knee during training camp and work toward a return to the field as soon as possible. Now, again, I don't necessarily think Nick Chubb has to be part of OTAs or, voluntary minicamp or, all of that stuff. It's like, we know he's good. People around the league, even people who look to trash the Browns, will tell you that Nick Chubb do pretty good, though. Like, they might be paper champs, but that do pretty good, though, right? And I always do it by market, right? What is your market? Even with the reconstructed knee twice, Nick Chubb would have a little bit of a market. Before that surgery, his market would have been 2017. Right?
Good morning. Welcome to Cruisin Around. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the channel. Road Dog Travel. See some stuff on there that you won't see on the YouTube channel, and vice versa.
If I'm the Browns and you feel as if you can get, if Deshaun's going to play well and you feel like you don't necessarily need to rely on Nick Chubb early in the season, then let's wait as many weeks as we possibly can. I don't know if that's 4, I don't know if it's 6, 8, what it is, but I wouldn't necessarily rush to put him back on the field because of how important Nick Chubb really is. 330-450-7625 to send a text to the studio. If you need cash, find me at 9 a.m. I'll be passing out a Rock the Bank $1,000 keyword. We'll do that. Actually, Chris is looking for me to give him some money back personally. Like, damn you, Stansberry. Like, all right, here we go. What did I do? What happened? Like, you and your big mouth. Let's see where we go. It's like, I got strong-armed into a $120 Costco membership because you had been talking about it on the air. He's like, I got to give it to you, man. He's like, that Costco hot dog, that was the real deal. He's like, that thing is really, really good. Yeah, I just got my card not that long ago, and I was like, all right, let me go, and I tried all the food, right? The same thing everybody always does and talks about it or whatever, and I did. The chicken bake is all right. Caesar dressing is not my thing. It was good. It tasted like ranch to me a little. I don't really care for either one of those things a whole lot, but it was, I mean, the Caesar dressing wasn't like a river. It wasn't like wet. It was like more just dried on the chicken. And so that wasn't so bad. I wouldn't order that a lot, but I get why people like it. It was a ton of food for not a lot of money. And so I understand why people who, if that's like your combination, you're into that kind of stuff, totally get the chicken bake. It's just not necessarily my thing. Thought the pizza was pretty good, and the hot dog was great. I'll tell you the thing I found at Costco, though, that I just went Monday and bought 2 more. I finished a box inside of a week, and I went back and bought 2 more boxes of it. That's how good I thought it. I found they had everything seasoned breaded cod. Oh my gosh. I mean, really good. 160 calories per fillet there. Still got calorie room for a rice and a vegetable. I'm in on that. That was very good. People talk about their chicken salad a lot. That's good. I did get that the one time I went there. I'll tell you my problem with those places is that I live alone. You know, like I went, like, all right, a snack I kind of like is Dots pretzels, right? You ever see those? Like, I love those. I'm big into those. I like the honey mustard ones. I like the regular ones. I'm into the Dots pretzels.
This is Crooked Run Road.
You can buy those at Costco, but they come in
small little farm village.
It's like the thing is massive. I was like, what am I doing? I don't need this many of these. So I find myself sometimes like frozen food or like canned drinks like seltzer and like that kind of stuff. I'll buy that there because I get it in bulk. It doesn't go bad. I went and bought that. I bought some toilet paper and paper towels there because again, you're going to have it forever. Some of the food stuff I'm not going to go through fast enough, or more importantly, should not be going through fast enough. So I find myself not necessarily doing that there a whole lot. But yeah, man, that hot dog deal, a pretty good deal. Now, there's been a debate in the hallway here in the building between 2 of these places. I got a couple of Costco people who work here, and I got Sam's Club people, and it's like the Jets and the Sharks now. Every day this conversation going back and forth. One of my saleswomen she's a Sam's person, and she feels that she's being pressured now to become a Costco person, and so she was trying to win me over. So she went there one day and brought pizza back from Sam's. She's like, dude, you thought the Costco pizza was good? Try this. And she handed it to me. I gotta tell you, it's pretty good. Like, that was pretty good too. I don't know their pricing, this and that. I don't have a Sam's membership. I'm sure it's fine. I'm not looking to go to war with anybody, but like, if I can keep that little stretch of that street out of my life as often as possible, I really try to do. The strip right there, and like the traffic there, the madness of all of that, it's just, I have anger management issues. And like, being in that intersection right there is like, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I get a little carried away over there. That's not necessarily my thing. Chris, I'm sorry, man, but your $120 membership, that's all on you there. I had nothing to do with it. That's your fault for listening to the program. All right, so the other day I gave you this.